You know that device in your pocket, or maybe even in your hand right now? Your smartphone. It's so much more than just a tool for calls and texts. It holds this incredible, hidden story about technology, our planet, and a wild journey from being a hidden treasure to becoming toxic trash. And this whole story really kicks off with one big question. We all know it's a treasure, right? It connects us to everything and everyone. But could it also be a ticking time bomb? A toxic one? To really get to the bottom of that, we have to follow the complete life cycle of this everyday object, from start to finish. All right, so first things first. Let's peel back that shiny glass and metal and take a look inside the magic that makes it all work. Every single smartphone is basically a sophisticated partnership between two core things. You've got the hardware, that's the physical body you can actually hold in your hand, and then you've got the software, which is like the invisible brain telling the body what to do. Think of it this way. One provides the potential, the other gives it its purpose. And we can totally run with that body analogy. The CPU is the phone's brain, making all the decisions. The radio frequency IC acts as the nerves, sending and receiving signals. Its sensors are, well, its senses, detecting light and motion. And of course, you have the battery, which is the powerhouse that keeps the whole show running. But what is that hardware actually made of? This is where the story shifts from high-tech to, well, geology. Your phone is, quite literally, a treasure chest that's been mined from the earth. And I mean a real treasure chest. Tucked away inside that one little device, you'll find tiny amounts of gold, silver, and even platinum. But it doesn't stop there. It's also got this whole cocktail of strategic materials, like lithium, cobalt, and a special group called rare earth elements. And this complexity is woven into every single component. Your screen needs indium and tin just to be touch-sensitive. The battery relies on that powerful duo of lithium and cobalt. The circuit boards use gold and silver because they're such great conductors. Heck, even the little buzz you feel in your pocket is thanks to things like tungsten and rare earth magnets. All told, you're holding something made from over 50 different minerals. Isn't that wild? Now, all of these materials bring us face to face with a fundamental economic problem: resource scarcity. Our desire for the latest tech seems practically unlimited, right? But the precious metals and minerals we need to build it are absolutely 100% finite. For decades, our technology has been built on what's called a linear economy. It's a straight line. We take resources from the earth, we make a product, we use it, and then we throw it away. It's a one-way street from the mine to the landfill. Now, there is an alternative, the circular economy, which is all about closing that loop. But for now, let's look at the consequences of that one-way street. And that throwaway part of the story, that's where the treasure we've been talking about transforms into a really toxic legacy. I think this quote from the source material just nails it perfectly. That carefully engineered collection of valuable elements doesn't just disappear. When it's sitting in a landfill, it turns into this hazardous mix that can leach out into our environment. The scale of this problem is just staggering. In 2022 alone, the world generated 62 million tons of electronic waste. To put that in perspective, that's like throwing away the weight of over 30 million cars in 1 year. If that number is a little hard to get your head around, a UN report offers this stunning visualization. Imagine 1.5 million huge trucks, all lined up bumper to bumper. That line of e-waste would be long enough to wrap entirely around our planet. But here's the most shocking part. Of that massive planet-circling line of waste, what percentage do you think we actually manage to collect and recycle properly? Just 22.3%. That's it. So the gap is stark. We're producing an enormous amount of e-waste, but our ability to manage it responsibly is falling desperately behind. To put it bluntly, we are losing the race. Badly. And the consequences are severe. We're talking about heavy metals like lead and mercury poisoning our soil and water. The World Health Organization has labeled e-waste a critical public health threat, linking it to cancer and neurological damage. And crucially, these risks, they fall hardest on the world's most vulnerable communities. I know that's a bleak picture, but it is not the end of the story. There's a path towards a solution, and it involves turning that one-way, dead-end street into a circle. The core idea of a circular economy is simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of seeing an old phone as trash, we need to see it for what it really is, a valuable raw material. We turn the end of the line into the beginning of a new one. Proper certified recycling is a really meticulous process. It starts with collecting and sorting devices. Then, and this part is absolutely critical, comes secure data destruction. After that, trained technicians carefully take the phone apart by hand to safely separate the battery, the circuit boards, and other materials before they get processed and melted down to be used again. And the potential here is enormous. Remember that roughly 78% of e-waste that isn't getting recycled? The raw materials locked inside it are worth an estimated $62 billion. That's billions of dollars of treasure that we are currently literally treating like trash. Look, I get it. This problem feels global and massive, because it is. But the solution, that's also personal. The power to shift from that linear model to a circular one, it really does start with you. And here is your framework. It's the game plan of 3 simple, powerful actions. First, reduce. The best way to prevent waste is to just create less of it. Hold on to your devices longer. Second, reuse. If your phone still works, give it a second life by selling it, donating it, or trading it in. And finally, when a device is truly broken, recycle it properly at a certified center. So every phone story starts in the same place, in a mine, as a piece of the earth. But its ending, that part hasn't been written yet. So how will you choose to end it? Will it end as a toxic piece of trash or as a valuable treasure ready for a brand new beginning? The choice? Well, that's ours.